What's up, guys and gals? I'm your host Mike Pugh of the FPC Virtual Channel, and you're tuning in to an OBS tutorial on how to create lower thirds within OBS. Have you ever created a lower third on OBS? If not, you're gonna get to learn something really awesome. Let's check it out. First off, what we're gonna do is go into Google to find out what lower thirds is. What does it mean? How does it look like? Stuff like that, because the average person probably doesn't know what it means, lower thirds. Because I know when I first heard of it, I didn't know what it meant. So I had to go dig and try to figure it out. This right here is a lower third. It says, in the television industry, a lower third is a graphic overlay placed in the title safe lower area of the screen, though not necessarily the entire lower third of it, as the name suggests. So it's somewhat in the lower portion title safe area, they suggest. So it's not necessarily in the lower third portion, it doesn't have to be. But that's basically what was created through television studios and Hollywood and all these differing, high level scale video editor and producers. They actually got into lower thirds and created it. Let's go into Wikipedia and see exactly what they have to offer. Look at this here. This image here shows a lower third. This would be a lower third that would pretty much detail information in reference to whoever is showcased in the video. Maybe it's going to be detailing about the actual host of the video or the production, or probably it would be about the actual show if it's a show, or whatever it is that's being displayed on the screen, pretty much. So that's basically what the lower third is. Let's go into a little bit more detail besides that television definition. It says, in its simplest form, a lower third can just be text overlying the video. Frequently, this text is white with a drop shadow to make the words easier to read. A lower third can also contain graphical elements such as boxes, images, or shading. Some lower thirds have animated backgrounds and text, and that's something that you would be doing 9 times out of 10 on Adobe After Effects. It says lower thirds can be created using basic home editing software or professional level equipment like Adobe After Effects or Adobe Premiere Pro. This equipment makes use of video's alpha channel to determine what parts of the graphic or text should be transparent, allowing the video in the background to show through. So let's go back to OBS so I can show y'all folks a way to do it on OBS, which is really odd, but you can do it. Alright, so now that you know you can create it on something as simple as Microsoft Paint. Alright, so the awesome part about creating these types of displays, if you wanted to create a lower thirds, like it said in Wikipedia, it could be a text or it could be a graphic. It can be an animated text / graphic, or both. So it's up to you with your creativity how you want your lower thirds to look like. It's up to you what type of tool you want to use. If you don't have the budget, you can go with Microsoft Paint and create something basic. So you can go in and then use the text editor here. You click that little alphabet up there, and then you're gonna click the left mouse button on the screen. You can choose whatever type of font you want here once you get into that text edit tool, and you can choose and select whichever type of font. So all this is up to you what you choose to do. I'm going to leave it defaulted to what it is, which is Calibri, and we're just going to type lower third. Actually double click in here so that you can get the cursor in there and type lower third. You can type whatever you need to type for your actual say you wanted to make it a specific title or whatever, maybe your name. That's all on you. We're gonna click the B to bold it. I like to bold my text when I'm doing this type of stuff. And then if you want to move it, you can use these arrows here in the hash mark area with the little dots. I call it hash mark, it may not be called that. And make sure you don't grab the edge, or else you're gonna drop it in the wrong position. Don't grab the edge of the screen. So there you go. You can reposition it how you want as well by grabbing the edges, and you get that cross arrow. Once you're done, you're satisfied with what you want to put on it, then you're going to click outside of this box. You're going to click out here. Or you can click in the white area. Actually, clicking out here won't work. Click in the white area where it's not highlighted. So once you're done that, you should be done. Then you're going to File, go to Save As or Save, and then create a title. I created a title already for my previous one to lower third. Make sure if you want to resize it, which I kind of neglected to show y'all folks, say we hit the back and we start out originally from where it was from scratch. Generally on MS Paint it's going to look like a little box like this. So you go to resize, choose pixel, and then you're going to select 750 or you can do 700, whatever, and then click uncheck the maintain aspect ratio and then put it at around 200 pixels. So this is your pixel sizes: 700 horizontal, 200 pixel vertical, and that will create your rectangle, and then you can go and annotate the text. So that's basically how you would do that. If you maybe you're upgraded to Photoshop, maybe you're using Photoshop Express, whatever editing software tool for photos and images that you use, you can create a lower third on it. You can also use a higher end type of tool, something much more advanced like Adobe After Effects or Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm sure you can do it on Final Cut Pro for Mac computers. I'm not 100% sure, I haven't done it with that tool, but I'm sure they have that ability to do it. Because many YouTubers use those kind of tools for Mac computers and they're able to pull it off. They also use Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects. Great deal of people. You can get actual lower thirds from places like videohive.net. I'll show y'all folks that. Let's go over to videohive.net, type that in, videohive.net, and you can go and type in lower third. But the only thing with this is that these are presets that only work with Adobe After Effects. So someone created the lower third for you, put the file on here, and you would have to make a purchase using this. So we're going to put lower third. And why in the world would you need a lower third? Well, pretty much people believe that lower thirds makes your videos look a lot more professional, and actually it really does, because text details what is being displayed on the screen. Like how you see this image right here where it says minimalist lower third, this one, it's an animated lower third that comes out and pops onto the screen, and it does bring more attention to what the details is on the screen that they want you to know about. So that's the thing, it's more like an attention to detail. It brings out eye candy a little bit more, as you can see with this one. So lower thirds can also be considered to be titles. So it could be a title of a video, a title of a song, a title of some sort of a news thing that's being broadcasted or whatever, and you just basically want to polish and, you know, put the ending finished product on your videos, you know, and that's basically what it does. It brings out much more life into the video. And definitely if you're doing tutorial videos, you know, these lower thirds can actually help you. Like, let me go in and show this one. This one is $12. So I can pretty much showcase that and show you all the different options that you can choose to make a purchase of if you was getting it from videohive.net. But once you've done that, say you wanted this particular one, or maybe you wanted any of them that show up, you would have to have Adobe After Effects in order to apply these animated lower thirds onto your actual video clips. So let's go back. I'm gonna take y'all folks right back out of here from videohive.net, but that would be your lower thirds as After Effects project files. See, it says After Effects project files, elements, lower thirds, and then this particular one is a corporate one. There's many different options you have if you want to make a purchase and you already know how to use Adobe After Effects. If you don't know how to use Adobe After Effects in order to apply a lower thirds onto your videos, I'll be showing y'all folks how to do that in the near future. I'm not really up to those tutorials yet. I want to get through my crash course series on YouTube. So if you don't want to wait until then, I recommend you to go check out different channels that's out there. There's many different channels on YouTube. You can just type in lower thirds After Effects into the YouTube search, and you'll be able to find those tutorials. The difference is with mine, I like to go a lot deeper. I like to take my time to explain it, and I really get into the nitty-gritty of the details. Some creators, they want to go extremely fast, and that's because their pace is up there. They're really expert at a lot of things that they do, and that's cool with them. It's probably going to help people who already have the experience with the tool a lot more than a person who's a straight hardcore beginner like myself. I'm a beginner at a lot of things, so it takes me a lot of time to build up the knowledge base, because I'm not in an actual course. I'm not in a school. I'm teaching myself. I'm watching videos, and I'm learning step by step by watching other people's videos. So, you know, it takes time to build up that knowledge base. It takes time to even learn how to implement what you have learned off of someone else's video. So, and then it takes time for you to actually apply that to maybe a video edit. You know what I'm saying? Because you may not have that background knowledge. You may not have the skill set that they have. You may not have experienced all the different things they've done to that point. It may have taken them 5 to 10 years to become a master at maybe Adobe Premiere Pro or After Effects or whatever. And it's like second nature to them. But when it comes to you actually getting the information, it's not going to come like that. Like, it's not going to happen right away. I guarantee you, because it takes a little time for you to digest exactly what they're saying. That's the first thing. Because you look at the tools, you end up intimidated. That's the first thing. Because the tools, they look a little bit too much advanced. Maybe you're intimidated by the tools that you see on OBS, and you see all these different options. You see small tiny gear icons and level bars and all this different stuff. Maybe that intimidates you, but when you take the time to look at every little aspect and you isolate it, and you take the time to say, okay, this is the mic/aux, what do I do with that? And then you go in and you click one thing at a time, and you go slow with it, and then you see the effect that it applies. Then you'll be able to gain your knowledge a little bit more on it. Now, if you're following somebody who's so fast, they're going to zip by those important parts that are really the building blocks to understand how certain things really work, the core elements behind why certain things actually work, the functions of why and the derivatives of why. Where did it actually come from? Like, I actually went into Wikipedia and then broke down the lower thirds concept. You know what I'm saying? So if you're rushing so fast as a how-to creator, keep in mind that you're also not doing a good justice to every single individual that may be watching your videos, because a great deal of people don't understand certain things. You know, so you have to think of it as if you're teaching a baby too. Sometimes you might have to have an intermediate course, a beginner course, and an advanced course. So you build up those courses so that they can take which type of course that they really are willing to go through and experience and are ready to experience, because some people are just not ready for the level that you're actually putting out there for individuals to digest and to consume or to learn or to experience. So I just wanted to put that information out there, because that is the reality out here online. That's why some people are much further in their knowledge base and their skill and their ability than others, because they just have the innate, you know, adaptability to gravitate to certain subjects, and then to pick up the information a lot easier than other people. So enough said about that. We're gonna click the pause, and I'm gonna move on to the next part of this tutorial. Okay, so if you're still with me, we're back on OBS. Obviously, you're seeing the lower thirds here. A question you might have in your mind is, how in the world can it be done on OBS? For those who are experienced with OBS, my question to you is, have you ever created a lower thirds using OBS 100%? Now, if you never done it on OBS, then 9 times out of 10 is because you just haven't tried to explore and experiment enough using everything that OBS can do. So it's all good. You know, we don't get to see every single thing. Everybody's not going to see every single possibility using a particular tool. That's why it's good to collaborate with people. That's why it's good to even watch other people's videos, because they can point out stuff to you that maybe you haven't experienced yet and you haven't tried or tested. So the whole experimentation thing is amazing. It is an amazing thing that humanity has the ability to do. The fact that we can experiment, we can test, we can trial, we can play around with things. And of course they have the term hack. I'm not a hacker per se with computers or whatever, but there's people who learn to hack everything out and figure out things and then bust it open it up, take it apart, strip it down, and then rebuild it. You know what I'm saying? Those type of hackers are really cool. But the people who are like out there doing damage and trying to harm other people's computers or harm their information, I don't associate with that. I don't like that. But talking about that, let's get back to the actual lower third. So that is the lower third effect right there. Now you can do everything on OBS. So what I did, I duplicated scenes. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring y'all folks back to the bare bone effect, which is zero, ground zero. So let's go and switch scenes real quick. Now one feature that I don't see many people talking about in terms of OBS is known as the scene collection. In order to switch a scene, you would have to build a new scene. So you would have to go here, which is a scene collection, I should say, in order to switch to a whole new scene project, not scene itself, because you can switch scenes by clicking over here. In order to switch to a new scene project, you would have to click new up here in the scene collection. It says scene collection, it should say scene projects or projects, whatever, right? So we're gonna go to new and we can type in anything we want in there. And when you do that, it's gonna create multiples. So I have one that says brand new that's preset for this. So let's go to brand new. Now this one, I'm going to get rid of some of these things. The reason why I didn't want to mess with the other one is because I have it preset for most of my video tutorials. So let's see, we're gonna go in and fix this filter. The crop is not good because I changed my physical location, so in terms of my green screen behind me. Talking about that, I have a video if y'all folks want to look up there, somewhere up there, click the little eye and that'll take you to the green screen background removal type of video, or you can type green screen background removal OBS on YouTube and you can find other people's videos for it as well. So what we're gonna do right now, I have two different scenes here and one has lower third, the other one has nothing. So let's bare bone it, let's take it down to nothing. We're gonna go and remove this, and then on this one I'm going to remove the text. I'm going backwards, right? So y'all folks are getting to see exactly the build itself. And this is the color source. So I remove both text and I remove the color source. Color source is just a backdrop, pretty much. It gives you a background. If you don't want to create your own background, or you don't want to move in a third-party image for a background, you can create a background using the color source, which is one solid color. So this particular image, I'm just gonna send it to the background, and this is pretty much almost the bare bone. And in the video, I'm gonna leave it, so that way I don't have to waste time and add it. So we're gonna go and send that out. If y'all folks been watching my tutorials with OBS or anyone else's tutorials with OBS, you should by this point know how to add a video capture device, which is using the plus or right clicking here and adding, going to video capture device, and then once it's in, you can actually apply different things to it. So right now we have one scene. I named this scene or renamed it test lower third 1. So what you want to do is duplicate the scene. You're starting with bare bone. This is how you would start off. It usually says scene and there's nothing here. So imagine these are not here. The video capture device and image are not here at all. Just imagine that, and this says scene. That's how it would start out. So what you're gonna do is right click over here where it says test lower third 1 and click duplicate. When you do that, it duplicates the scene. So that's basically what you want to do. That's the process of creating it. But before you do that, we're gonna delete it again, remove it. We want to build everything we want into this one singular scene before you go for duplicating, because if you duplicate first and you start out that duplicate first, you're going to have to duplicate every other process on each level. So on each scene, you will have to duplicate one after the next item and actually put them in the correct positions. You don't want to have to go through all that. That's a lot of work. That's why I don't want to build these over again, because I already removed the background and I already positioned the image. So all those things you're going to have to do. I'm not teaching y'all folks anything in terms of those things. I'm just trying to show you, if you already got to this point, of how to get sources onto your screen. So we're going to go to hit the plus, and we're going to go for color source. Color source is basically, like I said, a background. So you're going to see it says create/select source, and then you can change the name if you want to change the name. I'm going to leave every name defaulted for each of these sources, just to keep y'all folks informed on that. So let's click OK. And now what we're going to do is change the size, because as soon as you open, you get the properties and you have options to change width, height, and you also can change the background color, but I'm going to leave it white and black like I had it. So the background is going to be black currently, and the foreground is going to be white until I move in that image. But until I uncheck this little eye icon, then it's just going to be black and white. So we're going to go with width and make the width 750. The reason why I want to make it 750 is because I found that that's a really great size to create a rectangle. You can create it any size you choose, but if you create it a large scale size, it's not going to be considered to be a lower third. It's going to be considered to just be a backdrop or background. So we're going to go with the height and turn it to 200. So we just go with 750 to 200 to create a rectangle with a decent size that looks similar to what a lower third would be. Lower third could also be full length of the screen wide, right, from left to right, and it could be just down here, just like I showed for that example with Wikipedia. So we want it somewhere down here in the lower third areas, or under the lower third area. So you got 1/3, 2/3, and this is the lower third area. Anything under that lower third is the area where generally they're going to put those titles at for your video. So what we're going to do is click OK, and now the backdrop for the lower third is created. So now the next thing you're going to do is click the plus, and then you're going to go for text. So you're going to look for text GDI plus. The reason why I picked this one is because I can actually edit the text how I see fit based on the editing tools they offer. So again, like I said, defaulted. I'm going to use the defaulted name in the create section of the source. Click OK, and then in the properties section, that's where all your tools are available, made readily available for you to access. Whether you want to change your font, so you can choose to select the font and change it from Arial to whatever type of font you want. You can type out text here where you have the text box, and then you can choose to make the text vertical. I would leave it the way it is for this purpose. So let's go and type in lower third into the field there, and you're going to notice on the upper left corner your text is going to show up here. Now before we do anything else, what we want to do is maximize the size of the text. So that's going to be where you find, let's see, there should be an actual size. So let's see, font size, opacity. I don't see any font size, but generally, actually it's going to be in the select font. So you're going to click the select font. That's why you would have to also click it. We're going to go into bolding it. Bolding it is really important. And then we're going to go into resizing it to 772. Then click OK. And once you do that, it will resize everything and bold it. So like I was saying, you want to make sure you resize it because you want the largest size font. You don't want it to become pixelated. And what I mean pixelated is if you try to grab the corners and drag it out, then it's going to go pixelated if you don't resize it. So you're going to have, like, it's going to look not good. It's going to look distorted. You don't want a distorted image or a distorted text. So what you want to do is After that, click the select color and turn it to a color that is definitely not the same color of the backdrop. See, because then it disappears. So you want it to be like a black. White on black works well. So we're going to go with OK, and you can put another one under here that is smaller than the upper portion, because generally with professional lower thirds, the way that they make it, they have it as a larger size font for the upper title, and then the subtitle is a lower size font. So you can do that if you want to do that. We're going to click OK for this basic lower third. If you want to go in and re-access it, say you was on some other source, you see these red hash marks or little dots and lines, that means you're not on the source. If you want to go back, you have to double click it, or you go back here where it says text GDI in the sources tray and you click it. Now it highlights and then you can access it. So let's right click once we're here and click properties. That's how you go back into the actual text GDI, and then you're able to do more of your edit into it. So let's go a little bit further. You did the color already. Don't worry about opacity. Don't worry about gradient unless you want to make it a transitional color from top to bottom. That's what the gradient does, like that. So make sure you uncheck that if you don't want that type of effect. Then you have background opacity. Don't play around with that because you don't really need a background for your text. You already have a backdrop for the lower third. What we're going to do now, we're going to go into, you don't have to align it if you don't want to. You can align it left, align it right, center. That's based on the parameters of what you have here in the space. That's what I believe. Let's try that. Center. See, it doesn't really do anything. So whatever you typed out, it should be able to space out. Top vertical alignment, don't worry about that. We're going to go to outline. So say you wanted to outline it and put like a different color outline. You can select color and then go with maybe brown, see if that works. And then we can change the color inside to white, and then you can see it that way. You can make the size of the outline a little bit stronger, thicker, something like that, and that way you would have more of an outlined title. See, so you can do that kind of stuff. You can go in and then change the outline opacity. I wouldn't do that, but other than that, that's pretty much how you would play with the text. So let's go with adding another text. So we're gonna go in, hit the plus, go to text GDI again, and then type in another one. This time I'll just go and type in FPC Virtual just for shits and giggles, and do the same exact thing that I did. Select font. We're gonna choose one size below, 48, and we also gonna select to bold it and then bring it down here. Change the coloring to black, something to that effect, whatever, it doesn't matter, but I'm just showing y'all folks you can do this on OBS. So now that you're done with that part, you're done creating your lower third here. Maybe you want to merge a logo in there, so you can click the plus, go to image, and make sure you created your logo prior to getting here. So what we're gonna do is click the plus again and add video capture device if you wanted to add one. Click OK, and then select the type of video capture device that you have. This is the device options here in your properties. So I have a Logitech HD webcam C16 or C615. If I wanted to select that, I would, and once I click OK, it's gonna bring this. Let's get rid of this one, sorry about that. It's gonna bring this one up. It's not gonna have the background removed like it looks. It's not gonna have any of that stuff. So like I said, that video is gonna also be in the description of my video here. So let's go in, and then say you wanted to apply the background image. I already have it. You're gonna click plus, go to image, click OK in the create area, and then you're gonna browse. Click browse, and that's going to go through your file folders. So you make sure you have a preset design for your background, or you can go fetch it on pixabay.com or Flickr, Creative Commons, stuff like that. So we're going to click cancel because I don't want to have to go through all that again. We're going to click image where this little tiny eye is, and then bring it back up. So now we're done the whole entire project set up for the lower third. So now all you have to do at this point is duplicate and get rid of what you want to get rid of, which is the duplicate's lower third. So we're going to go right click, duplicate, and click OK. And like I said, make sure you complete your whole entire set. So make sure this whole entire scene is set up for the original before you go into duplicate with the lower third put up. So now what we're going to do is go into the actual duplicate and get rid of everything that we need to get rid of, which is the color source and the two texts. So we're going to tap the control key on our actual keyboard for our computer, and we're going to click uncheck the image up here, click the text one, click the next text one, and then click the color source. Make sure each of these sources gets highlighted with red and they have these little hash mark dots or whatever. And then you're going to right click and remove. That's a mass remove, so you can remove everything all at once. It saves a lot of time, and hopefully that helps you to save time in your projects when you're going through doing this. So now all you have to do is, I have a hotkey. You can set a hotkey if you wanted to set a hotkey. My hotkey actually, well, it's not working for this one, so we can create a hotkey if we want it, or we can go in and click. The difference with clicking is that when you're recording, you might hear that click in the background because it has a loud noise, right? It's a sound. It's pretty much loud compared to other noises and other sounds because it's right next to your microphone where your webcam would be placed, or maybe you have a microphone on the desk. So what you would do is go into File and then go to Settings in the upper left corner, and then you're going to look for hotkeys. Once you get to hotkeys, you click it here, and then you're going to notice you have test lower third 1, then you have test lower third 1 with a space 2, or whatever you called it. You're going to have the original and the duplicate scene. So what you're going to look for is switch to scene. So you see it says switch to scene, and then you're going to look for that on both. So once you get to switch to scene, you're going to go to that section and tap the key that you want to be a hotkey. So I'm tapping the A key on my keyboard. That's that one here highlighted in blue. And then for the duplicate, I'm going to type S. So I'm going to tap the S key, click apply, and OK. So now I don't have to hear that sound of the mouse. I could just simply depress. Now it's not going to work if you're not clicking off of here. So you got to click off of the screen in the gray area where there's no source, and then you're going to tap it. Now it's going to work. See, so now I'm tapping one and the other. And what I recommend for you to do when you're programming it, you're recording it or whatever, when you tap it, don't tap the other one too fast. Give it some time. You know, try to time it out, like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4, and then tap it, and then count again maybe to like 10, and then tap it. So that way it doesn't dissolve the other one like that. It doesn't create some kind of a messed up effect. Now in terms of the actual effect itself, I'm using scene transitions over here on the far right. So the scene transition that I'm using is known as Luma Wipe, and that's the one that I discovered is the best one to use for creating this lower third effect. So you're going to use the Luma Wipe. How do you do it? Well, when you first started out, there's not going to be a Luma Wipe there. So let me remove it so y'all folks can see how it defaults. It starts as a cut when you first start out OBS from scratch. And then you're going to have the option to hit this drop menu, and you'll see there's a fade. So the difference is drastic. That's the fade. And let's go to the cut. That's the cut. It's a drastic difference, right, from the Luma Wipe. So in order to get the Luma Wipe, you're going to hit this plus option and then go down to Luma Wipe and then click OK. Now once you're in this section, you can choose from the properties. This is a properties menu pretty much. You're going to go in where it says linear horizontal, and you're going to click the down arrow and then select through all of these and play around with them to see which one you like the most. I pretty much like stripes. I like checkerboard, small, different ones. Let's try the burst. I haven't tried that one. We're going to click OK, and then now we're going to press the S, and you can see that that's the type of effect that you're going to get. Now one last thing that I wanted y'all folks to get is this duration. The duration of the actual transition for this Luma Wipe. What you're going to do, the higher you see this milliseconds set at, the slower it's going to go. The lower the duration, the faster. So let's bring it down all the way to 2 milliseconds. Look how fast it goes. It's pretty much like a cut. Now let's bring it all the way up to, let's go as high as we can go. Let's try that. Alright, 2,500. Let's go up there. And let's press the S. I mean A. Here we go. Now look how long it's taking. Hold on. There we go. That's it. So it's very, very slow. So this is pretty much how you can play around with the speed of the actual transition. And you can do that in many other ways of creating transitions, not just for the actual lower third that you created on OBS. So hopefully y'all folks like this tutorial. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to stay tuned with more of the OBS tutorials I have to offer. I'm going to be covering some other things like using the tools area here, auto configuration wizard, auto scene switcher. I haven't played with captions. I haven't played with output timer. If I play and I feel like it can help other people, I'm going to try to give y'all folks tutorials on that as well. Other than that, there's other things like getting into settings, setting up streams, live streams for YouTube, live streams for Facebook, and other differing platforms for video footage that you want to stream your content on, broadcasting content on, like Beam, YouTube Gaming, Hitbox, stuff like that. I'm not on Beam or Hitbox yet, but I will try it in the future. You never know. It might come to be a great use for me or for other people that I know of. So other than that, I'm out of here. Joe Love and Peace to all. Mike Pugh signing off, and I'll see you in the next tutorials for FBC Virtual. Peace. And thanks for showing up. Like I said, feel free to subscribe and feel free to do what you do. Keep creating. Peace.